The year is 1897. The 25th of May, to be precise. It is almost 3 years since Ignatius Emberath was hanged for murder, and since society wrapped up the incident at Copperfield Manor. Some members have gone their own way in the years since then, while others have remained heavily involved. Many things have changed, but many things have stayed the same. And we begin this evening with John Greaves, still working at King's College University in the library, though he has been promoted in the intervening years, following an incident that we don't like to talk about too much. He is now the head librarian, responsible for the safekeeping of the collections from all manner of peril, be it fire, theft, or students. Today is an ordinary work day, with no reason to suspect anything odd might occur. Do you have a routine for your mornings in the library? Do you do your rounds, or are you to be found in your office?
I do rounds first thing, just to make sure all the books are in order. Nothing seems strange. But I'll have my cup of coffee as I read the morning paper.
As you're having your cup of coffee, you hear a voice that you recognise as that as one of your fellow librarians, or, correctly, one of your now subordinate librarians, Geoffrey Palmer. He is often in charge of keeping the front desk of the library and ensuring that no one gets in who they shouldn't. He has held this position for somewhere between 30 and 100 years. No one is entirely sure. Just as no one is entirely sure of Geoffrey's age. He has been there for as long as anyone can remember. But you haven't seen him for a couple of weeks. He had been off ill for a while. He does have extended absences. He is... Well, no one is quite sure how old he is, but he is presumably old. Now, he'd been off ill for a while, but now you hear his voice. No candles near the books. I need to explain this. Just move the book to where the light is. Don't take light to where the book is. Honestly.
Good morning, Geoffrey.
Morning, Greaves. Morning.
Morning. How are you? You back?
Fighting fit. Feeling much better. He seems sort of give a little stretch, stand up. And he does look much better than when you saw him last. He's less hunched over. His skin has...
Looking fit?
Yeah, colour to it. He looks well. Yes, much better. I feel 10 years younger indeed. You want me on the front desk today, or elsewhere?
Well, I don't want to stress you too much on your first day back, but the library has been missing your attention.
That book's not allowed out of that section. Take it back. Honestly. I'm happy to do the desk. I'm happy to... What are you doing over there? I'm just going to go check what they're doing over there.
All right.
I'll be back. He marches over to a couple of students who appear to be trying to borrow too many books at once. He grumbles at them for a while, and then takes up his customary position at the front desk.
Okay.
All well. Nothing to worry about.
There's always something to worry
Oh,
about. Books are
yeah,
deceptively calm.
yeah. I mean, even with your last 3 years of dealing with several concerning cases,
Mm-hmm.
the last few weeks themselves have been very calm. It's it's been almost eerily quiet. Nobody's died, nothing's exploded, and there's been no cause for concern.
This worries me.
Hmm, it should. Well, as John uh, carries out his perfectly normal morning at work, elsewhere in King's College, they are preparing for a talk from a visiting speaker, an author of renown, a genius in the world of psychology, a man who can just look at another's face and understand so much about them, their hopes and dreams and desires. It is none other, of course, than D'Angelo Williams. Um, what are you here at King's College to talk about? And what is the title of your talk? What's your subject you're presenting?
The official title of the talk is Matters of the Occult, where the psychology and the misunderstandings intercede. And D'Angelo is doing a brief discussion based around the book that he has just recently finished, Archaeology of the Dark, which is basically a archaeological look at various cults throughout history, starting with the cult of Mithras.
Hmm, very interesting indeed. And the dean of the School of History, Professor um, Wood, Woodward, Professor Woodward, is very glad to have you here. He sort of reaches out, shakes your hands. Ah, Mr. Williams, it is an honour. I read your last book with interest. Well, I've read some of it. I'm still getting to the end of it. I'm sure the students and staff alike will be very interested to hear what you've got to say today. Um, this I can't remember. Did you issue your lecture to be open to visiting members of the public, or is this a private university only affair?
No, anyone who wishes to attend can. I believe that, knowledge should be available to any who pursue it or who should want to.
Yes. Well, um, obviously you can have any notes you need on the lectern. We've got to get you a glass of water. Um, is there anything else you need before you begin?
No, you've already been more than accommodating. I'm very honored and thankful for your Augusts and hospitality.
Okay. And he sort of shows you through to the lecture hall where you'll be giving your talk. Already there's quite a few students filing in and members of staff. It's going to be quite crowded. But you can see one of the university staff um, seemingly having a bit of an argument with a young woman. Actually, youngish woman, probably in her 30s. Do some maths. Mid-20s to 30s, towards the door of the lecture theatre. You can catch a sort of snatches the conversation as you pass. Excuse me, miss, I don't believe the topic of today's talk would be suitable for a young woman. And then the young woman replies, she goes, look, I'm sure I've heard worse. And as she talks, you recognise both her voice and her. This is no respectable young lady, no relative of one of the students. This is none other than May Green, the adopted daughter of Augustus Green.
Angela will go over. Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear all conversations. Is there an issue?
This gentleman here doesn't think that my delicate constitution can handle what you're going to be talking about.
I see. Well, I assure you he meant no offense, and of course you are welcome to listen for as long as you like.
Of course, I saw that the advert saying you were talking. Thought I'd come and hear what you had to say. It's been a while.
It has. I'm glad to see you're in good health.
All's well. If you've got a spare moment after you finish talking, there's something I want to bend your ear about.
Of course, anything for you.
Alright, well, best find a seat before any of these gents tries to chuck me out again. Good luck.
Hope
We'll
you
break a
enjoy.
leg.
Thank you.
And she shuffles into one of the seats as the lecture theatre fills up. And as D'Angelo prepares to give his enlightening lecture, some distance across town, Amos Thompson is in his office. Now, for though we have not met Amos Thompson before, what does Amos Thompson's office look like, and what does Amos Thompson himself look like?
Well, Amos Thompson's office is meticulously crafted. It's incredibly neat. And he is a kind of pudgy 40-year-old man. Well-groomed, gentleman, but he mostly, kind of keeps clean-shaven, all that good stuff. And he, if anything sticks out about him, if you get up close to him, you can probably see a lot of coffee stains on his teeth. Other than that, just a perfectly respectable working businessman dressed nicely.
And does your accountancy firm have a name, a reputation? What is it?
It is quite famous, as famous as accounting firm could be, in regards to, that. It's not a very exciting profession, but it's just the Thompson accounting firm.
Okay. So, this morning, the morning of the 25th of May, you're in your office at the accountancy firm when a woman enters. She's very sort of respectably dressed, hair done up nicely. Fashionable, elegant, clearly pretty wealthy, but nothing too overstated. Good morning. This is the Thompson Accountancy.
Well, if it's not, I'll have a big problem. Oh, yes, it is. I'm Amos Thompson. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Patience Gaskill.
Pleasure to meet you. What can I help you with?
Well, I have a matter of accountancy. of course. One would hardly come here for other matters. Give me, my husband usually handles these sort of matters. He is indisposed at the moment, and I got myself into rather a tizzy, I believe. You see, my husband is Roger Gaskill of the Gaskill Drugs and Dyes. We have a business that makes, the all these newfangled dyes, the bright ones that everyone's using these days. Purify compounds. It all goes a little over my head. Chemistry and whatnot. It has a factory south of the river down in Southwark.
please, come in. Take a seat. Be comfortable. Can I
Sorry,
get you
sorry.
anything to drink? Can I get you... Normally, my secretary.
A cup of tea would be lovely.
Absolutely, I'll put a cuppa on. Normally my secretary would do such things for me, but she's out.
Oh. Oh dear. Well, yes. But you see, my husband's been ill these last 3 weeks, and it has fallen to me to manage the Gaskill drugs and dyes business. Gaskill D&D, as we call it. And, well, she reaches into her bag and pulls out this, stack of heavy-looking ledgers. I honestly don't know what's going on. These are the accounts. And I'm not sure what money is coming in and going out and what we've been spending it on. But all I can tell is I spoke to my banker, and apparently there's a lot less money than I thought there was. We seem to have debts and ongoing payments and...
Well, I tell you what. What I do for a new potential client is I will take a look at the books. I will give them a general overview of what I think might be happening, and then I parlay my price for a more detailed work. So if you could you sit up there? There goes the tea. I'll go grab that. But could you sit tight for maybe an hour and let me do a cursory look over?
Yes. Yes, I could.
Would you like some crumpets?
Oh, you do crumpets.
Yes, I do crumpets.
Oh, well, one can never say no to crumpets.
Very good. Very good. Just sit tight. The more newspaper is over there, and the newspaper is over there.
Do you have any magazines?
No, that is absolutely, those are frivolous. They rot the mind. No.
Oh.
Newspapers. Also over there's a collection of history books.
I see.
Yes.
Well, perhaps I could come back later after you've had a chance to look over the books.
Can you be back in an hour? I'm very busy. I'll work you in, but...
Well, an hour, yes. I did promise my daughter that I would take her hat shopping.
Well, as it just so happens, if you go down 3 blocks that way, there's a hat shop and hour, give or take.
Okay, an hour. Yes, sorry. I left Cordelia waiting outside. I will go and look at hats, and I will see you be back here in an hour.
Take her some crumpets as well. Everything is splendid. Splendid.
A lady does not eat and walk at the same time.
Anyway, and as she leaves, I say under my breath, Boderdash, and I'm gonna just take a quick look at the books and see what is going on.
Okay, I would like you to make the first roll of this session, and I would like that to be an accounting roll, please.
This is what we've dreamed of, Keeper. This is what we've dreamed of. Critical.
Okay, so please, first of all, roll 1d10, as somehow you have got even better at accountancy than you were. And as you begin to go through the Gaskill books, you have insights into the world of numbers that had not occurred to you before. You feel yourself getting better as you make your way through the columns, matching up numbers and figures, ins and outs. The beautiful dance of numbers. But as Amos gets to work, we go back across town to Mayfair, to the very home of the London Esoteric Society, and to Miss Elsie Smith. Last night, Miss Smith was out at a fine society event. A lovely summer ball. May ball, I suppose. But this morning finds her, I believe, painting, was it not?
Yes, I am attempting to use oil paints to paint one of the couples that caught my eye in their dance. It was quite a lovely scene, and so I'm trying to paint that.
Okay. Let's give it a painting roll and see how good it's coming out today. This is oil paints or watercolors?
Oh, it's terrible. It's oil paints. It is absolutely terrible.
It's not going well. You know what you want to paint, but you just can't get it right on the canvas.
And then I go and I look at my watercolors. And then I look back at my oil paints. And I think I will set the oil paints down and move over to my watercolors.
Yeah, and as you move over your watercolors, Miss Cynthia Plum, your chaperone and sort of companion, comes. I'm not going to say like. She looks in a bit of a huff. She looks a little bit ruffled.
Exasperated?
Yes. Goodness. Honestly, that girl drives me insane at times.
Which girl?
Agnes. I was trying to arrange a nice dinner. She keeps having her own input on what should be on the menu. Jumped up little thing. I think sometimes she forgets that she is just a maid. And not actually the housekeeper. And even if she was the housekeeper, she is not in charge of me. Honestly, it's not actually her I'm upset with.
What's wrong?
It's Gerald. You know, my younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's only gone and got engaged.
Congratulations to him.
I would say congratulations, but look, he had plenty of options. I've been putting very suitable, eligible young ladies before him for years, and they always seem to find issue with him for one reason or another.
But now he's engaged. Who to?
But that is the question. Her name is Theodosia Holborn.
Okay.
And I know nothing about her. You know me. I keep tracks on everything that's going on in the London scene. I know who's who and what's what. And I have no idea who Theodosia Holborn is.
Where is your brother now? Is he here, or is he in the country, or?
No, he's staying in a hotel in Pimlico.
Perhaps she's local there, rather than here. It's not.
She was at a society event, but as in she's been attending things. But I've been trying to talk to the mothers and other chaperones. And no one seems quite sure where she first got her first recommendation from. She was not presented, that is for certain.
Is she a ward?
Supposedly her father was some historian or something, disappeared overseas in Greece somewhere, which is never a reputable start. And if people disappearing off in Greece always raises worries. But I'm not entirely sure if she's his. He doesn't seem entirely respectable.
She doesn't seem respectable.
But Gerald seems quite taken with her and won't listen to me. Yeah.
Did you want me to reach out to anybody to...
You do? Yes. You are quite good at solving things. You and your...
associates.
Cabal. Yes, associates. Would you be able to get one of your contacts with some of your information to look into this Theodosia and see if she is all that she makes out to be, or this? Yes.
I can see if Mr. Greaves or Mr. Williams is able to look into it at all. Mr. Greaves has access to birth records and things of that nature.
Yes, yes. I mean, the Plums, we have no great fortune, but I still wouldn't like to see Gerald getting taken advantage of by some...
Some miss.
Yes, 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 exactly.
All right, yes, we'll look into it. Although it might just be possible that she's a small backwater gentry.
Maybe, but one would always like to be sure before joining families. Gotta be careful. Right, thank you. And she looks over to your oil painting. That one needs some work.
Yes, I've decided to try again with my watercolors. I've always been better with watercolors.
Yeah. Well, watercolors are definitely a more respectable art form for a young lady. Oh, well, I'd better go and make sure that Agnes hasn't changed the menu again. She heads off. And yeah, Cynthia heads off. We return once more to the library. John's ordinary day in the library.
Why do I get the feeling it's not going to stay this way?
Where you're either in your office a little later in the day, when you hear a scream from the library.
Okay. All right, I rush out my door and try to see whatever direction it seemed like it was coming from.
You see, it seems to be coming from a stack of shelves, and you see a young student, probably of late teens, early 20s, rushing past you out of between the shelves of books,
where are you
clutching his
going?
arms, there's blood running down his arm.
Hold on a second. What's all this? What's going on? What?
The librarian bit me.
Unusual. Hold on. Which library? What do you look like?
Really old.
And get yourself down. Get yourself down to the infirmary, and I'll look into it.
Yeah. Oh, I think I can.
Do you need help? Do you need someone to go with you?
No, I'm.
Yes, you do.
I'm fine. He kind of tilts sideways towards one of the shelves.
You're not fine. And I'll call to one of the other assistants and have escort him down, and I'll go over to see what's going on with this supposed librarian.
Okay. So you make your way through the dark, narrow shelves of the library. You can hear Jeffrey Palmer grumbling away down towards the end of these stacks. The bloody students think they know everything.
Jeffrey?
Wandering around taking books. These books are antiques. No, undergraduate students are not permitted to remove the books from the... Yes?
Jeffrey, can I see you for a second?
Yeah. It comes out from round the shelves.
Okay, now, do I notice anything conspicuous, like blood dripping?
I'm going to say give me a spot hidden on Mr. Palmer here.
Okay. I will spend the 3 luck for that.
There is a little blood on his beard.
Jeffrey, the student just went rushing out of here, screaming something about a librarian biting him. There was some blood on his arm. I couldn't really tell. I had one of the other assistants take him to the infirmary. What was going on?
Undergraduates are not permitted to remove books from these shelves. This is restricted to postgraduates only. And he argued his father was so and so. I might have lost my temper a little.
Okay, I understand losing your temper a bit, but did you actually bite him? A little?
It all happened very fast, and it was sort of instinctual, and his arm was there in front of my face, and I just kind of...
Jeffrey, this is not the behavior we expect of our employees.
I'm sorry, okay? I won't bite any more students. Even if they do take books, I shouldn't.
And, is there anything you'd like to talk about? I mean, what was it that triggered you? I mean, what was going through your mind at the moment?
He was taking a book. He shouldn't. I got a little angry. And
I think it was a bit more than a little angry. Seriously, Jeffrey, this is just simply not done.
Don't talk to me like that. You coming in here from Oxford with all your superior. You know how long I've worked here. I should have been the head librarian.
Mr. Palmer, Mr. Palmer, get hold of yourself.
You will not be spoken to like that by you. You see a flash of anger in his eyes, and he lunges forwards towards you. And as he lunges forwards, open his mouth, you see does have quite sharp, pointy teeth. You definitely don't remember him having before.
All right, pointy canine teeth?
Almost. I mean, he seems to have he's lost most of his teeth.
But
so he does definitely have two pointy, white, curved downwards, like...
not like a rabbit.
No, more like fangs.
Uh-huh.
As he lunges forwards towards you, you can try and fight back or dodge away from him.
Well, this is surprising, so I'm going to try to dodge back.
Okay. It's a success from him. If you get a success... Oh! No.
Nope.
Okay. He lunges forwards and with unexpectedly sharp fang-like teeth sink into the flesh of your upper arm. And I need you to make me a constitution roll. As the venomous librarian bite sinks into you. Okay.
Let's see, that would be 26 points of luck. I'll spend that.
26? Oh. Okay. You're lucky. You managed to avoid being pumped full of librarian venom. But you will take 1 point of damage from the bite itself as like his fang glances against you.
Oh, okay, now...
hiss of anger from him.
I was 1 point down from our adventures earlier. I suppose in the 3 years I would have...
In 3 years you have recovered that.
Okay, all right. So I'm down again, 1. Right. What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm so sorry, sir. I don't know what came over me. It was...
Spilling a bit of coffee is covered by sorry. That doesn't cover this. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Yes, I think I'd better take the the rest of the day, maybe the week off.
Yeah, and please go see the doctor, would you?
Yes, yeah, yes, I will. I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. And I think we'll need to have a longer discussion about this when you've returned.
Of course, sir. Yes.
All right, be on your way. Get your things for today and go.
And he heads out. There's not hushed whispers from the other, like the students and the other staff of the library. Like, blood's running down his arm. No hair to speak. Like, what happened?
Stop all this. He's just not having a good time. He's been having trouble at home. Just let it go for now.
Yes. Palmer leaves, followed by echoes of whispers, and there's just this little a rip in your shirt and a little few drops of blood and a scratch. Quite deep scratch, like almost like more of a puncture wound, I guess, from his fang-like tooth in your arm.
Ah, he left the tooth.
No, the tooth, not as in from his.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm going to have to look into this. Up there. Is D'Angelo's speech still going on?
D'Angelo's speech has just reached its end. I'm gonna say, let's have a roll from D'Angelo on how well this speech went. We know he knows his material very well, but I think let's have a charm or a persuasion or some other suitable roll for basically how good did his public speaking go.
It's based on psychology or occult. Can I roll one of those?
Give me either a psychology and occult for the content, and then either a charm or persuasion for the delivery.
Not very good at either of those two.
It was a very interesting and in-depth talk. You seem to have lost some of the people along the way. That young lad in the first row was definitely nodding off at one point. But you reach the end and there's a clap. The dean
Yes, thank you.
comes up. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Thank you, everyone for coming. That was very enlightening. That was very enlightening. Yes. Truly very interesting. Well, I'm afraid we're running a little late. We do not have time for questions, but if anyone would like to speak to Mr. Williams, we will be retiring to the East Room for drinks and a chance to mingle. So, please, you'll have your chance to ask Mr. Williams anything you wish there. And as everyone begins to leave, you see May weaving her way towards the front of the room.
I'll wait for her.
That was, look, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't follow all of it. You're too smart for most people here, you know that? I don't think half of them understood what you were saying. But
It was rather technical, but I do thank you for staying.
oh no,
Always good to pursue knowledge.
It was interesting. I mean, I guess half the people here don't understand how important this stuff is, you know? They hear
But
cults and
hopefully,
occult and they think, oh, half of them don't believe it and the other think it's table knocking and that sort of stuff.
they will remember at least a small portion of it if it ever comes necessary. Will you walk with me?
Oh, yeah, of course. So, you still involved in the society stuff?
I haven't seen them in quite some time, but if you need something from them, I'm sure they would be more than open to discussing it. Is there an issue?
Well, I didn't know whether to go to the society or... I mean, it's definitely... I don't even know that it's necessarily society business. Uh, it's, It's definitely cult business, but I don't know if it's like proper cult business or just people that think they know they're into cult business. It might not even be cult business. But
What
I
is
just
it?
wanted a sounding board for it, really, before I turned up at the society with my problems.
Well, I will listen for as long as you have something to say.
Well, I don't know how much you know about what I've been doing since I was last at the society, but I've got a little business for myself set up down in the East End, let's say. You know, I know folks, and I keep things working. Bit of
Good.
import export, bit of security.
Your
So,
Mr. Green would be quite proud of you.
well, he wanted me to be a proper lady, but honestly, that was never quite me. You know, you can take the mudlark away from the mud, but you can't take the mud away from the mudlark, I guess. But look. Anyway, a while back, a couple of weeks back, one of my people disappeared. A gentleman by the name of Six-Fingered Bob. Unfortunate fella, but handy in a pinch. And pretty handy, you know, not the sort of gentleman to, you know, get jumped and disappear without warning. So I asked around a bit, and he'd been last seen down at the Red Lion in Wapping, leaving with a young blonde woman, and apparently went across the river with her, and no one's seen him since. On its own, you know, perfectly understandable, you know. She lures him out, cuts her throat, and drops him in the Thames, probably. But I ask around, it turns out it's not just Bob that disappeared. There's been like a couple of dozen or so vanishing the last few months around the East End. And people keep reporting seeing this blonde woman involved. Now, either she's a thief who's been killing him, or up to something no good, but none of the bodies have turned up. And if she was killing him, dropping him in the river like I first thought, then someone would have seen the bodies, or bits of the bodies. People don't just vanish. Bodies wash up somewhere, usually. So I'm thinking there's at least half a dozen, maybe a dozen or so people just vanished into thin air. It's been disappeared out in the East End.
And you're sure that they aren't just leaving?
I owed Bob money. He wouldn't have disappeared when I owed him money. He was due to be paid. If he's going to disappear, he'd wait until after he'd been paid.
No one have a name or identifier for this blonde woman?
My description so far for her is she's blonde and beautiful, which hardly narrows it down. But she's been seen here and there about the Wapping area. No one seems to know who she is, which is again suspicious. Like usually somebody knows who someone is. Like there's always someone who knows a person who knows a person who knows a person. But I don't know, something about this one doesn't sit right with me. So, what do you think? Do you think it's just theft, or do you think I should be more concerned? Do you think this is... Should I be getting the society in on this one?
It is difficult to say for sure. They could be unrelated. Do you know when the last time a person has gone missing?
I mean, lots of people go missing. It's the pattern of it. Like, people go missing all the time. I mean, usually they turn up in bits later. Or, like, it turns out that they've, had a load of debts, so they moved to Manchester. And I usually find them again if they had a load of debts to me, to be honest, but... Got a good bloke up in Manchester. He's very good at finding people. But this many people disappearing in such short a time, in the same way, in the same place, this isn't normal.
This is difficult to say, but there are some odd things about it, some unusual things. I could check with the society to see if they've heard of anyone matching your description, but for now, I would just keep an eye out for things and make sure that you are keeping yourself safe.
Oh, I always keep myself safe, but just thought maybe it's something you should be aware of.
Do what I can. Hopefully it is just people who have gone on to do other things.
I hope so. Anyway, as I said, good talk. I'll leave you to your hobnobbing with the fancy folks. They really don't want me here.
You are always welcome. And if there's anything else I can do for you, please don't hesitate to ask.
No problem. And she turns and heads off.
D'Angelo will go to his room and meet people and see if he can give a good time.
Okay. So D'Angelo is going to mingle and answer questions. John, did you say you'd gone to look for D'Angelo?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. So you're making your way there. As John goes in search of D'Angelo, we do need to update on urgent matters in accountancy over at Thompson Accountancy. As you make your way through the Gaskill D&D accounts. And these are quite complicated. They seem to be the combined accounts of the business itself, which is engaged in the manufacture of all sorts of azide dyes and essentially drugs chemical purification. They seem to have started out as a dyes company, but because it's just chemicals, they're expanding out into production and purification of pharmaceutical substances. The accounts for that side of business mostly make sense. The business isn't exactly booming, but it's doing well enough. Money comes in, money goes out. Some money seems to disappear into the bottomless pit of a department that's called research, which seems to eat at least like half the money that the company makes. But when you move over to more personal accounts, there's a lot more money disappearing. Mr. Roger Gaskill is leading quite an extravagant lifestyle. He's got bills of account with numerous like haberdasheries and like tailor services, like hat makers, all sorts across London. Primarily, most of his bills seem to be that of expensive and fashionable women's clothing for his wife and daughter. Although he also appears to be paying the clothing bills of a young woman called Meredith Bell. Or at least a woman called Meredith Bell. He's also, as well as his townhouse costs and his staff costs, he's been renting a hotel room at the Royal Victoria Hotel for the past 2 years and has been making monthly withdrawals of money of ever-increasing amounts as essentially cash to be paid to the bearer. This is a regular monthly amount, and it seems to be increasing every month. And to make up for this massive shortfall in extravagant hotel bills and payments, he seems to have been borrowing against the company accounts and shuffling money around in ways to try and obscure his own spending, which has left both him and the company in a good deal of debt to various banks.
Would I think that it's an insurmountable debt, or do I think that it's getting there?
It's getting it's not insurmountable. It seems like it could be sorted out, but it seems that mostly he's just been shuffling it round and round to try and hide it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ruin this woman's day, unfortunately. Fortunately, she also now owes me a good bit of money because this is incredibly complicated, and I did it in an hour. Give her a 50% discount because her husband is doing all sorts of sordid affairs with this Meredith Bell. Ugh. It's at this point he looks at his wedding ring. You never had to worry about that with me, Olivia. Miss you so. And he just sits. He would take the time to try to prepare things, kind of like in a this isn't as bad. It gets worse. Ooh, this is real bad. This is real bad. Try to prepare it to walk him through it.
Yes. Mrs. Gaskill returns approximately an hour and 15 minutes after she left, accompanied by a young woman who can best be described as a miniature version of Mrs. Gaskill. She looks to be probably late teens, maybe 20. Very fashionably dressed young lady.
That's not a shock. Not a shock.
Yes. Sorry. Cordelia didn't wish to be left outside. I hope that's not too much of a bother.
No, it's not. This would be very boring. Maybe we should take this into my personal office and not out front, if that's okay.
Oh, yes.
I pick up the receipts of her impending sadness, and I travel to my office, and I close the door. There's no way I can say this in a way that won't hurt you. I'm going to preface this by saying that the debts you have are stout but not insurmountable. Do you know a Meredith Bell by chance?
No.
Well, okay, I'm going to walk you through this step by step. And I go through here's your normal expenses, and then, this. And then I get to, here's this general number of debts approximated. And then the personal accounts are, yes. And I get through all of it, and I'm very kind, I'm very gentlemanly. I minored in psychology, and I've been doing this for a great deal of time. I've given people a lot of bad news financially. So I cannot advise you as to your personal life. However, I will say that you need to is your father alive, perchance?
My father?
Or any brothers?
My father is alive, yes. He's getting on a little bit, but he is alive, yes.
Is he strong enough to use a brick?
To use a brick?
What I'm saying is, your husband is behaving...
I mean, he's nearing 80.
Do you have any brothers? Mayhaps a stout uncle?
I have 5 brothers.
Good. They are going to have to, as my grandmother said, tan his hide if he doesn't straighten up and fly right. Because quite frankly, he's going to bankrupt you and your lovely family with his whatever balderdash this is, this poppycock, this is unsightly behavior. I'm so sorry that this is happening to you. But I've taken the steps to try to. I've laid out a what's the word? A plan, a financial plan, free of charge. And quite frankly, if your husband stops being such an ungentlemanly fish head,
Ungentlemanly. Sorry, I don't understand, Mr. Thompson. What are you suggesting?
Can I make a psychology roll to see if she's just this oblivious or she just can't fathom what I'm trying to tell her?
Make me a psychology roll.
Hard success.
She seems truly oblivious to what you're trying to tell her.
Okay, with that psychology check, can I try to figure out a way to politely tell her that her husband is cheating on her?
I mean, you can tell there's basically no way you can say it that is not going to be deeply upsetting to her. But you can try and...
What I am trying to tell you...
Yes, keeping a mistress, keeping a...
He's keeping a... He's having relations with this Meredith Bell, and almost certainly is what I'm trying to tell you.
No.
Is... Yes. Yes.
No, my Roger could never do that to me.
Oh, he's not doing it to you. He's doing it to Meredith Bell. We have established this.
No, he loves me. He loves me and the children, and he could never do this to me.
I do not doubt his love for you.
You must be mistaken, sir. You must be misunderstood. I do not know what base.
Okay, all right. Maybe I am
not my husband.
Maybe I am
would not
wrong.
Do that.
Maybe the mounds of evidence mean nothing. That is fine. That is fine. What I am telling you is that these accounts for the hotel, which are growing, and the payments and the expenditures
so it's a hotel.
Yes. I then show her the accounts for the hotel. The Royal Victoria Hotel. I believe that's quite a nice place.
A very nice place.
Yes, and he's been borrowing against the company. So I don't know. I will take a step back. Mayhaps I have overreached the boundaries of my profession. I have this payment plan. I have this financial plan. I have all kinds of advice for you as to what you could do. And I have sorted all this out for you. Now, because I do feel bad for you, and you know my opinion on things, I am not charging you the typical rate that I would have. So quite frankly, your company has been spending enough as it is. And I want you to know that I do not disclose any of this. I am not a gossip monger. I am a respectable gentleman, and I treat my clients as respectable people, regardless of their indiscretions or lack thereof.
Not get the money back from this Bell woman somehow?
Can I do that? No, I'm fat and old. There's absolutely no way I can do that.
Ask her. Talk to her.
Are you asking that I, as a financial business person, write a letter to make an inquiry as to these charges?
Yes, indeed. That. A letter.
Okay, that will cost you some more money, but I will be gentle with the... Mrs. Glasgow, I must tell you this. What you see before you is a strong firm, and something I've worked quite hard for. But there was not that long ago that I was a man of modest, dare I say, humble means. I have been between a rock and a hard place myself. I only speak so candidly because I think that is the best way to communicate. I will do what you ask of me, as long as you are telling me that you are officially becoming one of my clients.
Yes.
Sign this letter, and I pull it out. It's a typical "you are my client" type of thing.
Yes. She signs really without reading it.
You should absolutely read. Thank God I'm an honest man. Your ability to sign things so quickly is amazing.
Just please help me get to the bottom of this. There must be some misunderstanding.
Yes, I'm willing to do that. I I will do my best for you. Is there any way I could perchance speak to your husband?
Oh, he's really quite ill. But if you call on the house, I can.
Could I do a
he
house
might be
call,
well enough to
mayhaps?
speak. Yeah, he's not fit. He's not fit to. He's sometimes able to talk.
Sometimes. How long has he been ill?
3 weeks. He felt quite ill. The doctors say he might not recover.
Okay. I will do my best for you. And I will start to work on this today. I will not take up any more of your time. Can I use this number to reach you as well?
Oh yes. Not quite got the hang of this newfangled phone thing yet, but we're getting there.
I understand. Here, there are some more crumpets on the table. Give your daughter my best. Find something to do for the next hour or so. I'm going to ring up your home.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Well, I better not do any more shopping, given the state of the accounts.
No, you can shop. You can. It's not that bad. It's just maybe not. So many hats. Why so?
It's very
Yes.
important.
They're almost as useless as capes. But I understand. I understand. I bid you adieu.
We'll go get some fresh air. It's a lovely day out.
Yes, and
Cordelia.
also, well, no, don't call her in here. That would. Oh dear. I would normally see you out, but I have to. You understand.
Yes.
Oh, as soon as she leaves, I'm dialing up the house.
Okay. Well, as
Ring.
Mm.
Ring.
We'll get back to who answers and what they've got to say in a moment. If we have an Elsie. So, Miss Plum has a matter of concern. What would you like to do about this?
Well, I wrote out a note to Mr. Greaves at the library, and I've sent it off.
Okay.
I'm waiting for a response as to whether or not he has time to meet me today.
Okay, so a note to Greaves at the library.
Yes, specifically asking if he could meet, but if not, if he could look into any records regarding Theodosia Holborn, and then is going to continue painting.
Okay, so you're painting. Sent a note to Greaves. As you just return to your painting, watercolors or oils?
It is watercolors this time.
Let's see if this is any better.
That is a hard success.
Much better. Yeah. And then she's getting towards the end of it. Agnes enters. Agnes Fenton. Honestly. Apologies, Miss Fifth, but Miss Plum is beyond the pale today.
She is in quite a state. She's unhappy with family circumstances.
She's trying to plan a dinner party that has strawberries in May. We don't have any strawberries. So I might just try to make some suggestions for a change of dessert. Perhaps we'll use jam instead. And then she starts getting all upset at me, claiming that, and that Mrs. Bramley...
Where is she? Is she off?
Well, as soon as this argument ended, she got a headache, and she said she wasn't dealing with Miss Plum anymore, and they made me deal with it.
It's just a matter of the fruit being out of season.
Yeah, it's a matter of we haven't got it. We can't make desserts with strawberries, and we haven't got any strawberries. And she says I'm being unreasonable. And I'm here doing all the work of a housekeeper for maid's pay.
Well, I will have to speak with James then. And are there any hot houses in the area that might have some strawberries?
I sent Missy down to Covent Garden to see if anyone has any early strawberries. But
all right, I will speak with James about the housekeeper situation.
Thank you, Miss. Oh, that's lovely, by the way.
Thank you. It is so much better than that one.
Is that from last night?
Yes.
Looks fancy. I was reading all the reports in the society pages this morning. Oh, who's wearing this? This is wearing that.
Does it look at all like the description?
Well, it's in the description. It says Miss Gaskell was wearing a gown of blue, and she's wearing the gown's blue, and the flowers are right.
Okay. I didn't want to misremember, but
anyway, sorry to bother. I know I shouldn't.
No, it's fine. I appreciate that you came to speak with me. Like I said, I will speak with James.
Thank you. And she heads back downstairs. Meanwhile, over at the library, John, you're just heading out to go and you found out that Mr. Williams is in the East room having a meeting after the talk, and you're just heading out to the library when one of the runners comes up. Message came for you, Mr. Greaves.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Thank you.
I just caught you.
Take a breath, man.
Here you go.
Thank you very much. And I'll open it right away and look at it.
It is a note from Elsie, asking you if you have time to meet today, and if not, to look into the matter of Theodosia Holborn.
Okay. What time of day is it at this point?
Ooh, let's say about lunchtime.
Oh, okay. Then I do have time. I'll head back up to my office, and while I'm walking there, I try to take stock of my shoulder. Do I feel any ill effects from?
You feel alright. I mean, it hurt. You got bitten in the shoulder. It
right.
hurts.
But nothing like any venom or anything.
No, not that you're aware of.
All right. I will go back and try to do just a very quick search for Theodosia. See if anything comes up.
I mean, searching records, it would take you the best part of the afternoon to try and
Yeah, this is the Victorian area.
Yeah.
So, I'll let my assistants know that I'm going out for lunch, and I'll head over to the society to meet.
So you're
Elsie.
heading over to the society, not to D'Angelo.
Well, I looked for him. I didn't see him in the lecture.
You were on your way to go find him.
Oh, okay. So I'm still looking for him.
So you were going to go to find him when they just got up to you with as you're on your way out, here's a letter. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I will continue my search for D'Angelo.
Okay. So you head over to the East Room near the lecture theatre, where after his talk, D'Angelo is being plied with questions, some of which are very intelligent questions from the students who were paying attention, and some of which are questions that make you doubt whether those people were even listening to every word you said. But through the crowd of people, you see John Greaves.
I'll just make a quick motion to him.
Excuse me, it has been a riveting conversation, but I do see someone is requesting my attention. If you do desire to know more,
yes. May I write to you my question? It's quite a long question.
This is frozen.
It's a very long question. It's quite taxing.
Oh, you froze for a bit.
No, I'm saying my question is quite wrong. Perhaps I can send it to you in writing, Mr. Williams.
of course, you can send anything for me here to the university. I will be in town for a few more weeks. If there's anything of the sort you need.
Yes.
Excuse me. I will very quickly move over to Mr. Greaves.
Oh, hello, Angelo. It's been quite a while. Good to see you. Sorry I missed. Sorry I missed the bulk of your lecture. It's been a busy morning.
It's all right. I just had someone ask me about you all, so I had a feeling I would have the opportunity just to remake your acquaintance.
Oh, good. Well, as it happens, is on my way down to see you, I got a note delivered from Miss Smith, who wants to see me, and I'm sure she'd like to see you as well.
See, so I don't believe my attention is needed here for too much longer. If you give me another, say, 10 or so minutes, we can leave together.
Okay. Real quick though, would you mind just have a quick look at my shoulder? I can't see it myself. Does it appear to be a serious wound?
Just do what I can.
Make me either a first aid or medicine to examine the wound on John's shoulder. Take a look at it.
I'm not good at
maybe a bite? Maybe someone stabbed him with a pencil, a very thin pencil. There's definitely some blood on his shirt.
It's not unusual looking in any way, is it?
I don't think so. I am no medical doctor.
As wounds go, I mean.
Seems like a relatively small puncture wound of some sort.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. I'll let you get back to you.
All right. And he will pull out one of the fresh copies of his book that he has agreed to sign for the university. If there is anyone who wishes to continue reading on the subject, I have provided both a signed copy as well as a few additional copies for the university. So if there's anyone who wishes to perhaps pick up where I've begun and to expand the field, this is an opportunity for you to stand at the forefront.
Yes, thank you. The dean says, taking the copies. That is most gracious of you. Another round of applause from Mr. Williams, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming here. It has been an honor, and we're very glad to have you back in the future.
Glad to be here. I have been requested to look into something, so I'm afraid I must make my departure for the evening. I'm very thankful for all of you giving me some of your time, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Of course, yes. Yeah. And so the two of you make your way out of the room. Is the plan to head directly over to the society?
From where we are,
do you have matters to discuss first?
Do you want to say something, D'Angelo?
D'Angelo would just tell Mr. Greaves about the conversation with Miss Augustus, with Miss Green while we walk, so I don't really think we need to repeat all of that, though.
I will make a call up to the librarian, up to the library office, just to let them know I'll be out for the rest of the day.
And They... Of course, sir. We will make sure that any matters will be left on your desk for tomorrow, sir.
Thank you very much.
And so, as the two of you head over to the society, and as on the way, D'Angelo is updating you about the case of the missing people in the East End and his conversation with Miss Green. That is where we will go to break, and we'll be back in 10 minutes' time with more matters of murder, mishap, and accountancy. See you in 10 minutes. So, before we get over to the arrival of D'Angelo and John at the society, just going to see what's going on at Thompson Accountancy. So, you phone over to the Gaskill house, and the phone is picked up. Hello? Gaskill residence?
Hello, I'm Amos Thompson. I've just been hired to be the family and business accountant, and I was authorized by Madam Gaskill to speak to Mr. Gaskill.
I'm afraid Mr. Gaskill is unwell at the moment.
She doesn't really care. She told me to call and speak to him.
He is in bed.
I do not wish to be rude, but that has not changed anything of which I have just told you.
I can take a message for when he is awake once more. He is resting.
What is your name? For posterity.
My name is Peters. I am the butler.
Keeper, may I make a psychology roll to see if I can break this man down mentally and manipulate him?
You can make a psychology roll to try and get an assessment of him. Trying to manipulate him, that would be fast talk.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 99.
He's down the end of a phone. It's much harder to get a read on him than if it were face to face. It's also quite a bad line, so you can't read too much from his voice.
Well, I have to be. I'm going to be level with you. There are some incredibly sensitive, life-changing material that I have just been handed, and I need to speak with him immediately because the fate of the entire family, dare I say even your employment, is on the line. This is a catastrophe waiting to happen. And if I do not speak to him immediately, everything that you've ever known and loved in that house could be torn to smithereens.
You may have a bonus on your persuasion roll here.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Gaskill is unwell.
Could I spend any luck, maybe?
It would be 15 points of luck.
15? 1-5, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna burn it.
But if you bear with me one moment.
Thank you. It's good to know that logic has won the day.
There is a pause that stretches on for a long while. And then you hear a voice on the other end of the line. Roger Gaskill speaking.
Hello.
Mr. Gaskill.
Hello, Roger. My name is Amos Thompson. Just call me Amos. Your wife called upon my accounting firm today.
Patience account? Patience doesn't. Patience has no head for numbers.
But I do. And I went through your books, and I know you're unwell, and I don't wish to startle you. I will just simply say that any discrepancy or strange action you've taken financially, I am cognizant of.
Wait, Strange. Don't tell Patience.
What I told her is that it doesn't look good, but it could quite possibly be something that you could explain. Now, how honest and decent of a man you are is none of my business. I don't account for that. I account for the numbers. So,
You told her.
no. What I told her was that this could be one very obvious, glaring possibility, but it was not dispositive. She is inclined to not believe that you are doing whatever it is that you're obviously doing.
What are you suggesting that I'm doing? I'm being blackmailed.
Oh, I just thought you were, taking Meredith Bell to a very, very fancy
Oh, dear
townhouse.
God, no, not at... You're suggesting...
Okay, well, you're being blackmailed. Fine, I can go to the precinct and clear this up in 15 minutes. What's she blackmailing you with?
It's...
I am your accountant, man. You have to tell me everything so I can
You're
help.
my accountant?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am your. And in 45 minutes, I was able to uncover all of this. You want me to be your accountant? It was easy. I was eating crumpets. Sir, let me help you.
Yes, could we... Look. Come to the house. Let's not have this conversation over the phone.
Okay.
It's a very bad line, and I keep losing you occasionally.
It's partially because of my incredibly gravelly voice.
I thought that was just the phone line.
No, I got punched in the throat one time when I was 4, and it is what it is. I will. Wait, did you just disrespect my? I don't care. I'm your accountant. You don't have to be my friend.
Sorry. I've not been my.
It's fine. Would you like me to bring you? Would you like me to bring you anything? Some food, some medicine.
No, I have servants for that. But I guess the accountant books. If you're not my accountant, then
yes,
I'll do with some help.
I absolutely can help you. Also, I have to be honest. I know you want to treat your family well, but the hat expenses are just preposterous.
Apparently, they're a necessity.
No, you have to fight back against that. We'll talk later. That's item very low. I will see you shortly. Good day.
Yes.
Click. And then I immediately grab my best hat. Not my best hat. I hate hats. My best coat. And I grab.
Excuse me. A gentleman does not go out without a hat.
I begrudgingly get my most gentlemanly hat, my walking cane. It's not a sword cane or a pistol cane, but it is nice. And I is this close enough that I could walk, or would I be calling a carriage, do you think?
It's close enough, and it's a nice day that it's like an hour's walk, so.
Okay, with the books, and because I'm older and I have a slight limp, I probably would call a carriage then. Okay. And I put up a sign that says out on business. But there is a mailbox slot that somebody could drop stuff off. And I go, I just need a better secretary. I just lock up, wait for the carriage.
Okay. You're heading over to the Gaskill house. Meanwhile, in Mayfair, D'Angelo and John arrive at number 18 Grosvenor Square. James shows you inside and goes up to announce to you, Miss Smith, Mr. Williams and Mr. Greaves have arrived.
Oh, all right. I will be down in just a moment.
Very good. I'll pass that on.
Thank you, James.
Good to see you again.
You again?
Good to see you, Mr. Williams.
After I've cleaned up a little bit, I will head down.
And you head down to where James has finished sort of serving some tea for the gentleman. I shall leave you to it.
I wasn't expecting you to arrive here. I thought we would meet somewhere. Or if anything, I would come to you at the library.
Well, your note sounded urgent, so I thought to come here.
Well, it wasn't extremely urgent. Unfortunately, Miss Plum has some concerns about her soon-to-be sister-in-law.
This is the Theodosia you mentioned.
Yes. If you'd like, I can call her down. I'll ask James to call Cynthia in. Now, from what I understand is she's not been presented in court, but she's out in the town.
Well, we have a moment before anyone
Nobody
else.
seems to actually know who she is. Is that correct, Miss Plum?
Okay, so did you want to say something before Miss Plum arrived, John?
Oh, that would have been all. If she had walked in at that moment, then I would have asked her if that was correct.
Yeah. Did anyone have anything they wanted to say before Miss Plum got there?
Well, I was going to say to Elsie, I think we may have some other problems coming up in the city. I was attacked by what I think might be a snake person this morning.
And that's when Miss Plum enters. Oh. Ah, gentlemen, you're here. Sorry, Elsie said you wanted to talk to me?
Oh, yes, we were going to discuss your concerns with
yes, Gerald, and that young miss that he has proposed to.
yes, but
What are the concerns?
Well, as I was saying to Elsie earlier, I've only met her twice. She's a pretty blonde young thing, but doesn't seem quite respectable. I suspect that she doesn't seem to have any family in the city. Was not presented, but many young ladies are not, with quite the right family to get presented and still go to events. But nobody seems to know that much about her. She has a good deal of money, that's for sure. But well, she claims to. She dresses well. I can't fault her that, but nobody seems to know.
Is there something about her that you think that
it does not seem right? And you are very good at getting to the bottom of mysteries. And if you get to the bottom of the sort of mysteries you get to the bottom of, you can solve Theodosia Holman.
But is there something about this young lady that you feel the society is someone who should look into it rather than
nothing like that? It's just you're good at
rather than a private
answers
detective.
To things and, well, I don't really know any. Well, the only private detective I know is Mr. McCrashley, and I've not seen him for a good long while. And well, the society does detect things. And
we do, but it's a matter.
Perhaps you could find out about her, and if she's not quite the right thing, perhaps get her to break things off with Gerald. Maybe just encourage her to move along.
Well, you said you've only met her twice.
Yes.
How long has Mr. Plum been courting her?
2 months, it seems. Quite rushed.
Have they already started planning the wedding?
Not yet. I only learned that he apparently proposed to her only a couple of days ago.
Oh, he's already proposed.
Oh yes, he's proposed. He's quite taken with her. Which, I mean, she is easy enough on the eye, and most of the other young ladies have certainly passed Gerald by. But
Do you have a portrait or the image of her?
no, but she's blonde and young, and
I might be able to sketch out something of her. I think I've seen her once or twice at events.
But look, all I know from what Gerald says is that her father was some sort of historian who disappeared in Greece, and she was looked after by a governess, and then came back to London for the season, and is staying at a hotel.
Have I ever heard anything about her father, perhaps, in my keeper in my field?
I'm gonna say yes. How much you know will depend on. Give me I guess a history roll of how well, or a credit rating roll for connections. But you do know that you have heard.
I'll spin on luck.
Yes, there was indeed a not very well respected but reasonably well known Dr. Holborn. Let's check my notes. Dr. David Holborn, who had some slightly unorthodox theories about certain elements of history, and got married to a rather unsuitable woman, and disappeared in Greece. What you know of him, he, the last anyone heard of him, he was off on tour in Greece, and supposedly, depending on the story, was either killed in an altercation with locals or fell off a cliff.
Or both at the same time.
Or both at once. You don't remember if he had any family, like that didn't come up. You mostly just had read a couple of his books, which are not very good. But you mostly remember it from his dramatic demise. But Elsie is able to produce a little watercolor sketch of Theodosia.
See, her father was an interesting fellow in history. Discipline had a few unique opinions on the Greeks and their faith. The last I heard, he met an end through some very strange circumstances. I was not aware he had a child, though it is unusual. I could see if I could get in contact with her mother to see if that would assuage your concerns.
Maybe. Yes. So, I'm not sure I want Gerald marrying anyone whose father managed to disappear in Greece. That seems the most unrespectable thing to do.
And when I can, I will do some more background investigation on Theodosia, just to see if there's anything comes up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You said she's living in a hotel right now? They'd not have rented a home?
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be unusual if, you don't have a house in the city and you can't afford to keep a whole household in the city to just essentially have long-term rooms at a nice hotel. Yes, Royal Victoria, I believe.
See what I can do about that. I've also been rumors about a young lady that is vaguely of similar appearance, spending time along the docks and things like that. So perhaps she has a history. It is possible. It is possible. It is a
Are
different
you
person.
suggesting that the Theodosia might be some sort of lady of the night, or
I was suggesting that she has some sort of connections with an import or export company, perhaps. That would explain her wealth and her preference. Of course, unfortunately, the only descriptions I have are young, blonde, and very beautiful, so they could be two different women entirely, but they are rumors at this point.
Oh, this gets worse and worse. Well, I hope I can rely upon you to save Gerald from her clutches.
You know, when is the proposed marriage? Have they set a date?
They haven't set a date yet.
Well, let us know as soon as they do. It might be that she may try to rush it, or he.
Yes. Well, is there anything else you want to know?
No, the dinner you're planning, is that for your brother?
Oh, I did not tell you about that. Oh, sorry. At the end of the week, I had invited a few of the, respectable mothers and young ladies that I've met at some of the events around for dinner on Friday. I hope that's all right.
Yes.
I asked you about this. Did I not ask you about this? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I wanted to plan a dinner. I didn't know what it was for.
Oh yes, just a chance to talk to people. It's always good to make connections. Perhaps a gentleman here could attend. This could be we are short a few gentlemen on the seating plan. Mr. Williams, Mr. Greaves.
Have some free time.
Yeah, I don't think I'm otherwise occupied.
Excellent. Dinner party on Friday then.
All
I
right.
look forward to seeing you there. I better go and tell Mrs. Bramley about the additional seats. And Cynthia heads out.
I had not wanted to mention this while she was still present, but it was a rumor given to me by Miss May Green, that some of her compatriots, workers, had gone missing, and they'd all had some connection to this beautiful blonde woman. So it is possible if they are the same person, there may be a bit of a timetable on and safety.
I'm sorry, did you say who you spoke with regarding this? Did you say it was Miss Green or no?
Just nice.
Okay. Well, if you'd like, you can give the sketch over to Miss Green to see if that is matching the description. Otherwise, we can see if she's willing to come to the dinner party as well on Friday. If she's not already invited. Keeper, would she have been invited to any of the events?
May Green?
Mm-hmm.
Not if Miss Plum was involved, no.
In
her opinion, May Green is definitely not the right sort of person to be associating with. Definitely not.
Oh, I will see to it the images delivered to her.
And I'm going to turn to John. What is this about snake people again?
I'll turn my shoulder to her and say, well, I had a small altercation with one of my employees who, he's very, very old, but he's come back from leave. He'd been sick, and now he's miraculously better looking, but he was very irritable with the students in the library, and apparently he bit one. And then when I went to talk to him about the incident, he got rather incensed and tried to lunge and bite me. Now he did manage to score a hit on my shoulder. I'm not feeling meat. He sank a tooth into me, one of the fangs, but I don't seem to be suffering any ill effect at the moment.
Should we go speak with that doctor?
Dr. Delaney, yes, I think we should.
Yes, and perhaps request that he come visit the gentleman who has been biting people?
I sent him home. He may be out for a few days, but I know where he lives.
Then yes, they may need to pay a call to him.
Keeper, this is a little late to ask this now, but did I happen to notice any snaky scent?
You didn't sniff him at the time.
Okay, all right.
Well, if you are going to see a physician, I could take this opportunity, go and deliver this picture to Miss Green. Unless you'd like for me to join you with the physician.
Are they anywhere close in location?
Yes. The physician, Dr. Delaney has a clinic in Whitechapel over in the East End of London. Pretty much overlapping the area where May Green operates. Not too far from.
And it probably would be nice for us all. Probably be good for us all to go then.
Oh, you'd like me to go?
Oh, we're starting a new investigation.
It's a little rough of a neighborhood. It'd be fine if you did not wish to go, Miss Smith.
Well, I guess.
Up to you.
I think it might be all right if I go. Let me speak with James and Miss Plum briefly.
Yeah, if you feel uncomfortable in any way, please feel free to stay here. I was just inviting you along as part of the society.
Oh no, I appreciate the invite. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go talk to James first.
Yes, Miss Smith?
I will be leaving with Mr. Greaves and Mr. Williams in just a moment to run a couple of errands. I don't know when I will be back. I will speak with Miss Plum in just a moment. I think we should look into either obtaining a new housekeeper or promoting Agnes to housekeeper.
Agnes, I see.
She has told me that she has taken on quite a bit of the housekeeper's duties.
Well, yes, Mrs. Bramley's getting older, so Agnes has been doing some of the management side of the kitchen, we don't have a huge staff. We don't necessarily need a butler and a housekeeper, but
well, at least give her a title and a raise of it. That way she has more say in certain conflicts with Miss Plum.
I see. Well, I will love. Yes.
If you could, they've had an argument all day about strawberries.
I am aware. Yes.
And considering strawberries are not exactly in season, I'd like to have this nipped in the bud if possible.
Yes, miss. I will ensure you're not troubled with this again. I will see to it.
Thank you. And then I'm going to go to Miss Plum.
Healthy. Yes.
Well, it seems that we will be going on out to look into this business now.
Oh, yes, of course. Just let me know when you get back.
I will, yes. I'll ring ahead if things seem to be too delayed. I should be back in time to change for the evening.
Of course, yes. Borrow the carriage if you feel the need to.
Yes. Thank you. All right. I will see you in a little while.
See you later. Okay. So you're heading over to the east end of London, the three of you, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Does it look like we'll be over in that area past nightfall?
Ooh, depends how long you say. You've got plenty of time to get there and back before it goes dark,
Okay.
unless you tarry too long. Yeah, depends on what you do when you're
D'Angelo.
there.
D'Angelo has his handgun and his sword with him.
Okay, you're taking gun and sword. Is anyone else taking any unusual items or weaponry?
No.
Alright. Okay, so you head over to the east end. Meanwhile, Amos heads over to the Gaskill house. And you arrive before Mrs. Gaskill and Cordelia make it back.
Good. Very good, very good. I politely and gently knock on the door.
It's opened by a smartly dressed butler. Good afternoon?
Good afternoon. I'm Amos Thompson, the accountant.
Oh, yes, Mr. Gaskell is expecting you. I'm afraid he has to retire back to bed, but he should still be able to talk. I'll show you up there.
Jolly good, jolly good.
He leads you up through the house. It's rather grand, rather, well decorated. A few portraits on the walls. This family, the Gaskell family, are on new money. They're business people rather than sort of aristocracy. So there's no sort of ancient heraldry and long lineages, but there are lots of new items they've acquired. It's quite fashionable. There's a quite a striking oil painting actually showing a view over the Thames towards the south bank of the Thames, where there is the Gaskell dye works. They're the source of their money.
Press it.
Yeah. Peters, the butler, leads you upstairs to the bedroom, where Mr. Gaskell is propped up against a pile of pillows. He looks really quite unwell. His skin is pallid, it's greenish in tint. There's a sheen of sweat. The smell in the room just the stale air and illness. He does not look a well man.
Can I make a first aid check to just get a general sense of the smell, or if opening a window would help, or nothing high, nothing super duper fancy, from a medicinal standpoint?
Yeah, give me a roll. A bit of fresh air could never hurt.
Well, I must admit I only studied minor points of medicine, but I think some fresh air would do you good, Mr. Gaskill.
Yeah. Yes.
Very good. I look at the butler gently.
Yes. He opens the window a crack.
Very good, very good.
Peters, you can go. I'll ring you if I need you.
Oh, Mr. Gaskill, I thank you for seeing me on such short notice. I am sorry to see that your health is suffering.
Oh, yes, I wish hopefully make a recovery soon enough. It's been a bit under the weather these last few weeks.
Has the doctor told you anything about your ailment?
No. Well,
Have you seen a doctor?
I've seen a doctor, yes. He doesn't seem to know what the cause is. He suspects perhaps exposure from the chemicals at the dye works. I was inspecting the plant shortly before I fell ill. Sometimes the fumes in there can be a bit much.
Well, I would tell you that my heart goes out to you because I lost my wife to a bout of sickness, and at the time that she died, there was a treatment that would have most likely helped. I just didn't have the money at the time.
Oh, that is a terrible shame. Yes.
But enough.
Sorry.
Enough about me. What
One thing
what
you
can
would
I
have
help?
noticed that I forgot to mention earlier is you would have noticed that amongst all his payments out, he makes considerable, even with his debts piling up, he has been making considerable and steady payments to the support of the Southwark orphanage.
As an accountant, would that cross? So like in today in America, if you're an accountant,
it's not like a tax rebate.
Okay, there's a crossover in America. It's not like that back then. Gotcha.
Yeah, it was seen the well-to-do thing that most, if you were wealthy, you should donate to philanthropy, like
understood.
Build orphanages, build schools, and get your names on things. But yeah, that's how.
Yes. Well,
that was the done thing.
Tell me about this blackmail.
Oh well, it's a ridiculous thing, really. I was a young man. This is before I met Patience. My father had just built the dye works. We were up and coming, but not respectable yet. Trying to make our place. And, well, I fell in love with a young woman. Her name was Anna. She was one of the workers. I wanted to marry her. She wanted to marry me, but my father disapproved. He had her sent away. I was a young man. I didn't do enough to argue against it. Well, when I say we were to be married, we were married.
You had an annulment, I'm guessing.
Yes, he had it set aside, had it annulled. Said it was not without his permission, and that it had never been. As far as the records would say, we had never been married. And he had Anna sent away, and I never saw her again. And then it was years later that I met my beloved Patience. But then a few years ago, I got a letter from a girl called Meredith Bell. She was Anna's daughter. My daughter.
Do you actually believe that she is your daughter?
I met her. She had letters that I'd given to Anna long ago. Tokens of love and letters to her mother. Letters.
I'm going to need a psychology roll.
Yeah, give me a psychology roll, please.
I think I understand what's happening here. I do not understand what's happening here.
My understanding is to your own determination. No further clues from me.
I must advise you, not as your accountant, but as an older gentleman myself. I tend to see the good in people and the wickedness in the world in and of itself. However, it is quite possible that somebody could have broken into Anna's house, found some personal effects, and played what they call a long con game.
It would have been a very long con indeed. By the time Meredith got in touch, Anna had been dead for years.
Well, I understand. I think it's just possible that somebody could have stolen some things and almost immediately. Regardless, you would know best. I'm just trying to proffer some wisdom, some possibilities. But please continue, my good sir, my fellow chap.
Well, I began. I sent her some money. She had some debts. I paid them off. I and then she asked for more money. She threatened to tell patrons everything if she made it out as not what it was. The story she told. She threatened to spoil my good name. I've spent years. My father spent years, and I spent years building up the Gaskell name from nothing to be respectable. To be, we run a good business. I donate, I help, and she threatened to ruin my good name and my good standing in society. So I sent her money, I paid her hotel bills, and I sent her more money. And along the way, things got in a rather of a muddle.
I can tell. I can tell. This is. I want you to know. I'm going to give him the same breakdown financially. Like walk him through it. Like it's getting bad. You're not like on the brink of disaster. There's time. Do you want like a roll as I go through all that? Or?
No, I mean it makes sense. You've done a good job. You did an exceptional job on the accountancy, like a world class job. You're able to explain it. He sort of nods along.
So you have time. You have time. I think what would be best for you, because what you've communicated, your articulation seems to be that you wish to not have this come to light, which I understand. And I will also tell you that the heart wants what it wants, and you did nothing wrong. You simply fell in love. Happens to the best of us. I have 2 children myself. This is what I would tell you to do. I would tell you to go, not you yourself, negotiate a contract with her. You can dress it up as something that is legal, a buyout, if you will, and then the binding legality would be that you give her a lump sum, and then maybe installments of X amount of money throughout a course of time, a finite amount of money, and then it is done. And that way, if she then turns around and cries foul, you could say, no, I gave you this money for insert reason that makes sense. You donate to the orphanage. She's an orphan. You might get an attorney or somebody, a publicist, a news reporter to spin a narrative, but you could do it that way, and then it's your word as an established gentleman who has a correct paper trail, and then that way this all ends. Now that doesn't do anything for you emotionally. I can't help you emotionally. I'm an accountant. I did some psychology classes at university, but quite frankly, that is beyond me. I like numbers, not the mind.
You seem to have a good grasp on the legal matters. This contract. Could you put that together, or would you need?
No, absolutely not. I'm not an attorney. If you're involved with money, you're involved with the auspices of the rest of how society works. So
I don't want more people knowing about this than need.
Well, do you have an attorney?
I have one I handle for the business, but look.
Well, this would be a business because
if I get him to look out the legalities, could you handle the rest of it? I'll pay you, of course.
Oh, you will pay me, absolutely.
I will pay you.
Yes, I know exactly how much you can pay me. So the reality of the situation is, you have an attorney, and you have me. You have everything that you need. I could meet with your attorney.
Solicitor, I think that's the word I'm actually after.
I don't care. Listen, accounting is the only true respectable profession.
Yes.
As we keep everyone.
Yes.
I kid.
You and Mr. Abernathy can see to this.
Oh, that's an incredible attorney. I know him actually.
I don't have much dealing. He mostly handles business legalities. We mostly stay clear of legal issues. So mostly he handles, legalities of permits. Safety, chemicals, export and import permits, that sort of thing.
This type of contract would be easy to write, and the context is easy to understand. If you need me to consult him on a narrative of something, I would do my best, although I am quite sure that he would be quite fine doing it his own way.
Well, you and Mr. Abernathy can handle this. Just take it.
Yes.
Look, I
And
want
I will
this
speak to your
resolved.
wife
Yes.
to tell her that I made a mistake.
Yes, I worry. The doctors, they always look worried. I wonder. I'd like this matter settled. I don't want this troubling patients after I'm gone.
We will, I believe the phrase is post haste. We will take care of this post haste.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
Pre haste. I don't know. Hastily. We shall.
Yes, yes.
Um,
No. Sorry,
I must leave you to rest.
I must rest.
Think.
Yes.
If you could have Peter call Mr. Abernathy and tell him I will be visiting him shortly today, if possible.
Yes, yes. I will do that. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. And as I get up, I do turn to him and I say, "Your body is sick, Mr. Gaskill, but your heart is healthy, and you should not let the pain of the youth." I'm struggling with my words. Don't beat yourself up too much. You didn't do anything wrong. There you go. Chop, chop. And I leave. And I head straight away to Abernathy's office because I know him. He's prominent.
Yes, you know
I'm
Cecil
prominent.
Abernathy. He is a respectable lawyer. Yeah, doesn't deal with. He's not like a criminal lawyer. He is a business lawyer. You're heading over to see him.
There's no difference. The viewers, there's no difference. Just trust me. In the real world.
As in, he's not a barrister. He doesn't go to court.
A horrible place. Don't go.
But yeah, you head over to Mr. Abernathy. Meanwhile, the society arrives over in Whitechapel in the east end of London. And more specifically, you're heading over to Dr. Delaney's clinic. It's a doctor in Whitechapel run by Dr. Sampson Delaney and his wife Delphine. And you arrive as ever, they're seen to their usual queue of patients. They treat for essentially for free or for whatever people can spare to donate to the clinic. It looks a little smarter than the last time you were here. They've clearly had some money donated. They've managed to make it look a little less dodgy. Like it's got a bit of a smarter sign outside. They've expanded into another room. They've got a bit of like a waiting room now rather than having people just standing out in the street. But you're still very much the best dressed and clearly the wealthiest people here. And you get some sort of side eyes from looks from the waiting patients. After a short while, after seeing to a couple of patients, Dr. Delaney comes out. Alright, I've got a moment. Have we met before? I seem...
Yes, we've been here before.
Ah, yes, the gentleman with the unusual bite wounds. You were with
Yes.
him? Yes. Come, I've got a moment. Come in. How can I help you all?
Well, I seem to have had an encounter with an unusual person this morning in one of my employees. I have a small wound as a result of it, and here, let me show it to you.
Ooh, let me, Ooh. Sorry, you had an encounter with a person?
Let's just say that it's a person.
Well, that's not a human bite mark. Trust me, I've seen enough human bite marks here. I know a human bite mark when I see one.
Well, let's say he appeared to be human on the outside until he became incensed about something we were talking about, and then we had a slight altercation.
And then he attacked you with a...
But didn't he bite a student in the library as well?
Yes, he did. This is a bite. This is a bite mark.
Yes, it appears to be a snake bite.
Yes, he had 2 fangs.
I'm sorry, a man... Delphine?
They seem to have appeared rather precipitously. He did not have them before.
Well, luckily, it didn't seem to have actually managed to inject any venom. I think you've got away on that front. I'll just get Delphine to take a look at it. She's better at snake bites than me. We get a surprising number down here. One would think there'd be no snakes in the East End of London, but
Yeah,
every few months we get someone gets bitten by a snake. It's
I have a question for you. How long does it take from one bite to another for a snake's venom to be potent again?
very much depends on the type of snake and how much whether it all the venom went in. A few
How
days
long
sometimes.
before your bite was it that the student was bitten?
It was a pretty short period of time. I mean, a few minutes.
Do you know who that student is?
I believe I recognize them.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, if it was a snake that bit them, he likely would have gotten all of the venom before you got bit.
He was bleeding rather considerably. I sent him down to the infirmary before I knew what exactly it was that we were dealing with.
Yeah, the student's name was Richard Hunter.
Okay.
Check in on this, Mr. Hunter. Or whether the student.
And Delphine Delaney, the doctor's wife, appears out from the cellar, like the medical room below. I heard another snake bite.
It was a rather large snake.
Yes, usually they bite ankles, not shoulders.
I,
Samson, would you be able to fetch? I've got the cotton swabs downstairs. Would you be able to get them for me, dear? Of course, yes. I'll be right back. Who bit you?
well, he's one of my library staff. I work at the King's College library. He'd been out. He'd been out on leave for quite some time, and when he came back, he was looking much better than he had in years, actually. Younger. I mean, he's been around. It's hard to say, 100, maybe 1,000 years at the library. It seems like, but he was looking better today than he had been in quite a while. But he was pretty irritable and not really himself.
Librarians don't usually live for hundreds of years. Has no one been suspicious?
Well, I've become considerably more suspicious as the day goes on, but not entirely out of the realm of our experience.
It might be worth looking into your librarian and finding out exactly where he's been in the last few days.
He's not really in a talkative mood, so I sent him home.
Did he exhibit any unusual behavior apart from the biting?
Well, he was very short-tempered, and things that normally would just simply irritate him a little bit sent him into fits. And apparently, he bit a student before I was aware of the situation, seriously enough that they were bleeding.
Concerning. By chance notice any unusual patches on his skin? A sudden sensitivity to light?
I just noticed that he was more irritable than normal, and he did look better than he had been in quite some time. I thought he had just been able to get some good relaxation and recovery while he was out ill the last couple of weeks.
I see. But before these couple of weeks, he never exhibited any of these signs. He never bit anyone before.
Not that I'm aware
never
of.
found any half-eaten rats in your library.
No, not that I'm aware of.
I see. And sorry, to return to the him living 1,000 years. Is that hyperbole?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I was beginning to worry.
No, he's been at the library for over 30 years. I'm not sure exactly how much longer than that, but it's been quite a long time.
Well, she sort of glances back to the stairs. I do not know what is going on at your library, but I would be worried if I were you. And if something had happened to your librarian friend, it could be that it happened to more than just him, and would be. I have two possibilities to present to you here.
Okay.
The first is that your librarian friend is no longer your librarian friend.
He's always been short and irritable with students, not handling the books the way they're supposed to. But this was much, much more severe today.
And the other is that your librarian friend is no longer entirely and completely human.
Yeah, well, that was obvious at the time he made the attack.
Well, yes, but that someone has, in some manner, made him other. There
Are there any ways I can, anything you can suggest, any ways I can tell?
If I could see him, perhaps I could understand whether the process is reversible.
You sent him home. Do you have his address?
Yes, I do.
Perhaps I could come visit him, or you could bring him here.
I'm not sure how agreeable he'll be to coming here. We can try. But if that fails, would you mind?
No,
You know, I
I can
will
be
cover.
spared from the clinic.
I will cover your time
Of
while you're away.
course. A donation would be
Oh,
gratefully accepted.
it will be gladly given.
We do not have any form of phone here. You'd have best is to send the message if you need me to come. Or come fetch me, or send someone to fetch me, should you need me.
Are there any signs, anything that I can use to determine? You said patches on his skin. Is there anything else I could tell? Any
Patches on his skin, changes in his sensitivity to light and heat.
Okay.
Any sudden other changes in behavior, diet, or custom.
That's going to be somewhat hard to tell. He normally keeps much to himself.
If it is not him, if someone else has taken his place, I would look around the eyes. The skin suits are always weakest there.
Okay, I will look.
Well, found them. Sorry it took so long. Alright, but I can assure you, you have not been poisoned. I would steer clear of hanging snakes in the future.
I will do the best that I can. Now, one last question though. For the student that had been bitten, do I need to have them come here to see you?
Oh, if he survived the first 2 hours, he should live.
Okay. And if not, well, obviously if not...
And if he does not, I'm afraid that is beyond even our capabilities. We can cure many things here, but death itself is not one of them.
I'm sorry to hear that. All right, but if he does survive it, do you think there'll be any lasting effects or any changes he might experience? If he was envenomed?
No, the bite does not. It's not contagious. We're not.
No. I mean, just should we? Should he be concerned about?
No. It is merely a poison. A snake bite. Simply a snake bite.
Okay.
while they had been talking, I had been rummaging through my pockets and my reticule to find what cash I have.
You've got a considerable amount of money that you can donate. If you want to make a credit rating roll, whether it's like an ordinary donation or an exceptional donation that you can find to give stuff with hand at the moment, yeah, you've got a good amount of cash on hand. To you, how much you want to give?
200 pounds, I think, if that's reasonable, or maybe 50 pounds.
Yeah, 50 pounds. 200 is look. I can't remember the exact exchange rates, but
it was a lot.
A lot of money. 50 would be a lot still, but yeah.
Yeah, 50. We'll do 50.
Let's do it 50 and say a very, very, very generous donation. If you would like us to name anything after you.
No.
We haven't got the capabilities to build rooms, but we could have the Miss Smith cupboard.
Thank you, but no, that's not necessary.
But yes, anything I could do to assist you? Or me.
Thank you very much for your help.
We'll keep in touch.
Please do. Yes.
Right. D'Angelo, shall we go look for your...
And ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, you're heading up to see May Green. She keeps an office in the back room of like one of the dock warehouses. Not actually her dock warehouse. She's borrowing the room off someone else, but that's currently where she's keeping her operations. Down at the door, you see a couple of her sort of heavies. You recognise one of them as Henry Bernice, Franco's brother. Gives a little nod as he recognises you. Miss Green told us you might be by. She's on upstairs.
Thank you. I hope things are going well for you.
No, not too bad. Been better, been worse. You heard about what happened to Six Fingers Bob?
I have indeed heard the rumors. I hope they're not as negative in reality. I hope he is alright.
Well, he ain't turned up yet, so who knows? If he turns up at this point, I think Miss Green will tan his hide for causing us so much worry.
See what I can do.
And he sort of inclines his head up a slightly rickety set of wooden steps that leads up into the office upstairs.
Walk up the stairs.
Alright. Welcome to my place of business.
Well, it is very impressive.
It'll serve. Alright.
I will not take up too much of your time, but I did have someone very talented make a brief sketch of a person in that work for you to tell me if you recognize them.
Alright, yeah. Hand it over.
So I'll hand over the sketch.
Hey, Fred. Is this the woman what you saw? No, that wasn't her. Don't think. Nah. Different woman. That was pretty though.
No.
Nice looking thing. Right, that's enough. Thank you, Fred. Not her.
Right. Well, if you hear anything else that would make this easier for us, please let us know. And I'll let you know if I learn anything.
Well, I've got some people keeping a watch down on the Red Lion. That's where she was seen a couple of times. That's where Bob was seen talking to her last.
All right.
So if she shows up there again, I'll ask some guys grab her and ask a few polite questions around the back.
Have you heard the name Theodosia?
I say someone from around these parts. I don't know if I'd met a Theodosia.
Well, you do hear anything about that name, I would appreciate you letting me know.
I will. Look. Yeah. Gonna say, your girl looks too fancy for around these parts. Like, the one we're looking for, by all accounts, pretty, but belong down this side of town. But I've been talking to some of the girls what work the docks, but they say none of them have seen her. None of them know who she is. So you ain't one of them.
Alright.
Starting to suspect she might be from, the other side of the river. I don't know if there's many people down south side. I don't really have anyone. I'm strictly north of the river, me. Don't cross.
Alright. Have any of your people recently been bitten by serpents or
the snake bite thing.
People?
Yeah. Look. I've had 3 guys in the last month get bit by snakes. There shouldn't be any snakes in London, right? Where's that island? Anyway, there shouldn't be any snakes.
I would think so.
But, yeah. I just think someone's brought some cargo in from India or something. It's full of... I don't know. I've had 3 guys off because they claim they got bit by snakes down on the docks somewhere.
I see. Are they here today?
Yeah. Fred. Show him your ankle. Fred rolls up his trousers, lifts his leg, cracks it up on the table, and you can see like a faded pair of puncture marks on his ankle. Got bit by a snake.
Have you seen any more snakes in the last few days?
This one I was down in one of the warehouse sheds, down on St. Catherine's dock, rooting around between some barrels, and then suddenly feel this pain in my ankle, and there was a bloody snake down there. So I kicked it a few times, and it stopped wriggling. But it hurt like hell.
Alright, well, you've given me quite a bit of information, both of you. I thank you for that, but I will give you back your time.
Well, no worries, you're doing me a favour after all. Looking into this, and if there's anything I can do to help the society, you just give the word. You need anyone's place turned over, or anyone strong words been happy with. Just need to ask.
Yes. D'Angelo will leave.
Okay, heading on out. Do you have any other business that any of you would like to attend to in the East End?
No, I don't think we do. Do you, Elsie?
Okay, so where is next for you?
Elsie needs to go back to the house and change for the evening's plans.
And John would like to go by Jeffrey's house, see if he's actually at home.
Okay, so Elsie's going back to the society. John's going to Jeffrey Palmer's house. D'Angelo, where would you like to go?
Is it the evening? What time is it?
Well, late afternoon now.
I guess D'Angelo could. He would go to the Red Lion, or he'd go with Mr. Greaves if Miss Greaves requests.
Your choice. Which would you like to do?
I'd go to the Red Lion. Let's split the party. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Red Lion.
Nothing could go
Angelo?
wrong with that.
Red Lion.
Be reckless.
Okay. So Elsie returns to society. You're preparing, gather your things. The dinner party is not till Friday. This is only, I think, Tuesday. You have
Right.
other plans?
If there's any
or just a
callers or
normal.
anything of that nature.
Yeah, there's definitely some, like, people are meeting in Vauxhall Gardens. It's a nice evening. There's a promenading, enjoying the lovely May evening.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything particular you would like to do? If you're trying to do anything in particular, let me know.
No, nothing in particular. Just, being part of society as I'm supposed to be.
Okay. Would you give me a look roll, please?
That's a fail, sorry.
Okay, you have a lovely evening in Vauxhall Gardens, in which nothing that exciting happens. Meanwhile, Amos, you went to see Cecil Abernathy,
Yes, of course, yes.
who shows you into his office. Ah, Thompson, I was just shutting up for the evening. You just caught me.
I did. Did you get a phone call from another client just before I got here?
Yes, Gaskill said something about
Oh, Mr. Abernathy,
an
we.
illegitimate. I didn't get the full bit. He was
Oh,
It was a very bad line.
It wasn't just my voice then. Okay. Do I have a bad voice? I feel like people don't like my voice. That's a yes. It's okay.
You have it's got gravitas. Gravel and gravitas.
You are a wordsmith, a silver-tongued man. I appreciate you. Here's the thing. Many years ago, our client, I'm his accountant now, had a annulled marriage.
So are you essentially just recounting?
I'm recounting all of that.
Yeah.
And I pitch him my idea. You write the contract. I'm just here because he wanted me here. I thought I would give him this idea. He'd send it off to you and we'd be done. But he wanted me here, so I'm here. A client is a client is a client is a client.
I can draft this up. You want to come with me when I take it over to her?
I think that would be good. A show of force for this little blackmailing hussy would probably teach her some proper manners.
2 people shows a bit of a stronger thing, and also.
Absolutely. We need a reason. We need a reason that would survive scrutiny for paying her money. Now he's a man who cares for orphans. So
Yes,
a hard luck story.
Yes, a hard luck story. Let me think. Let me sleep on it. I'll have something good by tomorrow morning. Okay.
Very good. Also, I have a question for you. It's an unrelated matter. I don't like to brag, but my business is doing well. But I always want my business to do better because I have 2 children to look after. My daughter is married, and my son is. My son. We don't need to get into it. You know the specifics.
Yeah.
I want to retire in 10 years. I need a big client to speed that up. Do you know of anyone? A big client.
How big is big? I mean, I mostly. I know some firms with. I've got a few people who might have use for an accountant. I don't really have any one big thing. I've got a few little bits and bobs. I do
You have a medium size, one that's
Medium-sized.
growing, one that's complicated, has strange business dealings.
For accountancy? I mean, I deal with legal, not accountancy.
But you're involved, you know.
Are you good? Are you good at? No, I've got one of the weird trusts. I'm on. I'll get you to the. I'll show it to you tomorrow. Come by tomorrow.
What time?
After lunch.
Very good.
After
All right,
lunch
I'll let you-
tomorrow. Come by.
you-
I will have some. I've got some accounts. See if you're interested
Good.
in. I'll have to talk to my
Well, here's
Do
the
I need to
thing.
talk to anyone? I don't know. The legalities confuse even me, to be honest, as to whose money it even is. Uh,
Oh, that sounds amazing. Oh
exactly.
God, that's
We'll get
so
into it.
billable. He has our client. He's not broke.
Oh,
He's
that's
not
good.
even
That
he's not
means I can
even
bill him more.
exact. Well, I mean, that's the ethics are up to
Sorry.
you. What I'm saying is that he's on his way to being it's not a disaster. It could be one if this keeps going. So,
All right. Well, we'll talk
very
tomorrow. Give me a chance to put together some ideas. If you come up with any good ideas, let me know. Why would
I
some respectable reasons for a wealthy businessman to give money to a young woman that did not invite awkward questions.
she's an orphan,
Yes.
born out of wedlock, hard luck story. Wrote him a letter.
He has
She
the
knew
goodness
his
of his own
mother.
heart, just a good
Goodness of his own heart. Also, we don't necessarily need to disclose how long this is. He is a bit old. Quite frankly, doesn't really strike me to be all that unintelligent. He seems competent, so we can't spin a doddering old man, but he is old.
Yeah.
He gets taken advantage of.
Yeah. We'll I'll think about it. All right.
That's right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Goodbye. Also ill. We don't know how long he's been ill.
Yes. Best not let this linger too long.
Could you call me a carriage? I'd walk, but I have all these books.
I'll call you a carriage. Yes.
I'll pay for the carriage. Why do you?
No, it's alright. It's alright. I can borrow a carriage. I know someone who's got a carriage. Great guy. They won't mind if I borrow their carriage. It's fine.
Very good. Well, you know, I have a loft above my
I'll send you
business.
back.
Saves money
I borrow
that
it all
way.
the time. They don't notice.
Well, good. I'm gonna go home and practice my mathematics.
Okay. Yeah. So you head home.
Yes.
D'Angelo heads down to the Red Lion in Wapping, this disreputable pile of a pub on the riverside, with a sign that's sort of broken and hanging off at an angle. And by now it's sort of early evening, a steadily filling bar room of people. There's a barmaid running around with a tray, and a barman behind the bar who is sort of pulling pints, rattling off orders, taking money, chatting with the regulars, which just seem to be quite a lot of. A lot of people seem regular. A lot of them turn to look at you as you come in, sort of look you up and down, make an assessment, judge the shininess of your shoes, the obvious wealth of your clothing. And one of the young women sort of sidles up. Well, one of the women sidles up to you. Evening? Can I help you? You looking for some company?
I would like for whatever best drink you have here in a private table, or at least a table where I won't be immediately disturbed.
I mean, I don't work here, but she kind of waves her hand around the bar. Private table's not really a thing they do here. Well, I'll have you share my table with you, if you like. You buy me a couple of drinks.
And does D'Angelo get the feeling that ignoring a bunch of people in here would be more suspicious than just letting this woman talk to him for a few hours?
I mean, you get the impression that talking to her for a few hours might cost you.
Yeah, he doesn't mind that part. He wants to know which would make him seem more suspicious, talking to her as someone who looks wealthy, or just ignoring everyone and sitting by himself. Which one would be?
You suspect that if you try it, like sitting by yourself, is probably going to get you noticed because you definitely look out of place in here. You look too well dressed to be in here. But in her company, perhaps you look more like you're just slumming it on the dodgy side of town, so to speak.
He will abide. I assume I can afford beverages in this place.
You can definitely afford many beverages in this place.
And he will. No, he will go stick with it by himself. He'll be noticed.
Okay. And what is your aim here? Just keep an eye on the place, keep a watch.
Just to see if this woman shows up. If not,
Okay. Would you give me a luck roll, please?
the occult is dead. I'm much better at that.
No, you can't just make everything an occult roll.
Listen, I'm very good at what I'm good at.
You spend some time in the Red Lion. You buy some truly terrible drinks. You're propositioned by several dubious-looking workers of the nighttime economy. But you do not see the beautiful woman with the blonde hair that people described. An otherwise fruitless evening.
A danger would have taken a couple of hours, a little bit of writing before leaving.
Yeah. Do a bit of writing and then head out. Meanwhile, and last of all, back across town, John Greaves arrives at Jeffrey Palmer's house.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's just he's got a little essentially little house. Not a big place, not a fancy place. You've been there before. It's like stacked with books and things.
It's a house, not a flat. Right?
Yeah, I think it's like a terrace, like a small terrace.
Okay, all right. So, is there a light on at this point?
You can see there is a light in the flickering in the upstairs window.
Okay, I'll knock on the door.
Who's there?
It's John. Just coming to check on you.
And you hear staggering steps from behind the door, and after a while the door opens. Jeffrey opens the door, and he doesn't look like he did earlier.
What does he seem like?
Well, first of all, I need a sanity roll from you, please. He opens the door.
Okay.
We had to have at least one before we finish it tonight. So it's not a welcome back without a sanity roll. But you're keeping your cool. You've seen
You've
bad
seen this
things.
before.
The last 3 years have been tough ones. You've seen some shit. I mean, and to have the door opened by a librarian whose skin seems to be peeling off in patches. You can see underneath patches of scales and patches where the flesh just seems to be melting away from him. Like he seems to be almost dissolving from the inside out.
Jeffrey,
Ow!
you're not
Ow.
not looking so good.
You can see like half his sort of face, all the way. You can see clearly the fang-like teeth now sticking out from like patches of his beard just kind of fallen out, molted away.
I should have had her come over with me. How are you feeling?
Like fire. He just slumps back against the wall. He does not look good. He said it would help.
Said what? Who said it would help?
He said he was a doctor.
Who?
It's a Scottish bloke.
Oh, they're suspicious. They're all suspicious. The Scottish blokes. Why would he be down here?
I don't know.
So what did he do to?
Back a bit further.
What did he do to you?
Medicine. He said I'd gone down for a drink. Dozing in the corner of the blanket, and he said he heard me coughing. He said he had something that could help, and it did. You told me
You were looking much better, but now not so much now. Do you have a phone?
No. Don't trust those things. Also, they're really expensive.
They are, but all right. I know someone who can actually help you. Let me see if I can get in touch with them and have them come.
Yes.
No,
Oh.
go back and lay down, and I'll try to bring help.
He starts to stagger up the stairs, bits of him sort of sloughing off along the way.
Okay.
And then you see as he starts to like claw his way up the stairs. But then he just slumps down to one side and stops moving.
He stops moving.
He stops moving.
Can I go in and check to see if he's still alive?
Yes. Give me a first aid roll, please.
Not going to be able to make that up.
I mean, you're no doctor. But bits of him are dropping off. Like, if he's not dead yet, he's not
Soon
going to
will
last
be.
much long.
Okay. Well, I will make the attempt then. I'll leave the house, close the door, and try to find a someplace that's open that I can call over to the clinic.
Well, as you head out into the night to try and find someone to call help, that is where we're going to have to leave things for tonight.